this is the Burdell 1813 Marseille deck. Jacques was I believe, the grandson of Claude Burdel, and these are decks from Yves Reynaud. I believe this one came out last year. So here's the coffin box. One side's in English, one's in French. There's the back. Fribourg en Suisse, Jacques Burdel. And then you have a stamp. The stamp usually indicates a tax. It says Canton Bern something. It's got a picture of an animal on it. So let's open it up and see what's in here. So this one, we have the two cars. So this is 513 of 1500. So it says, let's see, Jacques Burdel, 1784 to 1832. Was born in Fribourg, Switzerland, grandson of Claude Burdel, French card maker at the origin of this famous line of master card makers. Jacques takes advantage of the achievements of his grandfather and his father, Xavier Burdel, who was able to help create this tarot. Initial XB on card 7, Le Chariot, but also CT on 2 of Cups, which indicates probable use of various molds. Like his father, Jacques took over his grandfather's workshop, the Canton Fribourg, together with that of the Solothurn, was then the most important center of production in German-speaking Switzerland. His tarot is distinguished from that of his ancestors by the rounded faces, with marked looks and the details of the costumes. Notice the tax stamp with the bear. Oh. So it's a little bear. Tax stamp with the bear of the Canton of Bern on La Force. An indication of the sale outside the Canton of Fribourg. Subtle abbreviation FT, PRJ, and PE on card 13 might well mean done by Jean Proche, famous engraver at that time. So this is the deck. It's in its own little Canton Fribourg. Beautiful paper. I love the paper. It makes it think like it's authentic. Like you've stepped back in time. To open up the cards. Ooh. So here's the back. The back is sort of this swirly sort of pattern. Let's look at the cards. Nice cardstock, thick, really interesting, bold colors, of course. This is like a Marseille. Fat rounded faces, scallop table. So compared to some of the other Marseille decks, the bleeding on some of these, it's fairly typical. This one seems to be utilizing a nice green color. Clear engraving. Again, it's difficult to make out that those are figures, which is here. Cupid is not blindfolded. There's the XB, the father, Xavier, Chariot, Justice, very symmetrical. Hermit. Wheel of Fortune. La Force. Le Pendu. So he does not have his tongue sticking out, but he's staring at us. Death. Oh, I see there's P-E, J, F-T, P-E or P-R. You can see the initials there in the sort of in the ground. Temperance. Instead of temper, it's temperance. Nice, I like the wings. There. A diable. Flower for the genitals. Smiling little minions. Here we have the tower. It looks like the two figures have not completely fallen, landing. Their eyes are wide open. Here we have the star. We have the funny little bird with detail. We have an eye. We have tail feathers. Weird shaped curved beak. We have, she's got the wonky eyes. Balloon. Very fine sort of waves, tiny little waves. And there's a JP there. JP. Soleil. It's an interesting face with hair. The sun has hair in like a necklace or a garland. Eyes staring. Different kind of sun card. Judgment. Fat, big butt there. This one looks, the engraving's very sort of dark and almost a muddied card. And we have the Fool here. Here the pants are being ripped. We have the little cat dog creature. No. Oh, we have these little fancy socks on. He looks like he doesn't have much of a mouth. His arm looks weird and twisted. Eyes gazing up. So that's the major arcana. So let's see, we have the batons, we have swords, coins, and cups. This one's all lots of stuff going on here. The hand out of the blue, holding the huge baton. Very red. Fairly typical, except these have alternating colors on the ends. Yeah. 5. 6. 7. This almost looks like an award or a plaque someone would get. 9, getting fancy. I love how that interwoven basket weave is so pretty. And then with 10, you get it. It's all symmetrical. There's 9 and then 10. Very symmetrical. Valet de Baston. Dark eyes. Oh, the corners of these I just noticed are a little rounded, which is kind of different. Some of the cards are very very pointy. This one's not. It's very subtle rounding. That's nice. It feels nice in the hand. Cavalier. Horse looks evil. Queen. She's got that club. Very sweet, serene face, wavy hair. And the pointy king, who looks like he belongs on a card, a playing deck with that hair. Then we have swords. This one looks really nice. They did a really good job with the ace cards. Lots of color. Hand out of the blue. 2. Here the swords have these hilts. 3. 4. 5. Overall, the impressions on these cards are pretty distinct. Not a lot of dirtying. They're fairly clean. It's an improvement. Some of the earlier Marseille are almost primitive. This one's a little more as refined as a Marseille can get. 8. 9. Very fancy with the weave. And 10. These are fancy court cards. He looks like he's wearing ermine, feather in the hat, fancy socks, pantalons. There we have the knight, who looks like the guy who was in the chariot. She looks like she's pregnant with her hand on her stomach. And this is the fancy king. He's my fancy king because he has that throne with the little flourish on there. He also looks like he belongs on a playing card. We have the coins. Ace. And here's the one that's from the back. This one says 1813, which is the deck, 1813. Here we have a sort of a herald. Here we have the 5. Kind of nice flourishes. I think the flourishes really they make the pips so much easier on the eyes instead of it being just repetitive. Here's one. This one's nice. Kind of a lighter blue. It's getting fancy. Even fancier. 8. 9. 10. And here's the one with the writing on the side. He has sort of brownish hair. It's not blonde, it's brownish. It's neat. Fancy socks. Knight. Queen. She looks very matronly with her scepter. Looking backwards, not forward. She looks older, but so does the king. He looks rather older. He's sitting in sort of a chair. And here we have cups. This one's very fancy. The geometric base is gone. The rivers flowing out of the city is gone. We have a sun design here. There's a bird, it almost looks like it's a phoenix. Here, it looks like a castle. Very fancy. I like this one. This is a nice card. Oh, here's CT. On this one we have the dolphins, which look grotesque always. And they have scales. Dolphins don't have scales. Cups. I always think when I see cups, the red is the wine. I always, the cups and the vessel of a woman, a woman's, the womb itself, but also the church, Catholic Church, the blood into wine, wine and blood. And when I see the cups and I see the flourishes, I always think of like a champagne fountain with the glasses pouring. Mm-hmm. Seven and 8 9 and 10. Big cup. Okay, so here's the valet page. JP is written on his little arm. He has this sort of band on his head. Cavalier with the cup. Going backwards, he's got spurs on. Queen with the canopy. Covered cup. And the king. Look how his arm is just resting there. Very casual looking king. Big old hat. Crown on his hat. Fancy pants. Fancy floor too. And that is it. That is the deck. Let's look again at the wrapper. I love that red ink. That's really nice. And this typical paper. Let me see. Here's the bottom of the box. It's very plain. I love how these decks don't have like ISBN barcodes on there. Just makes them feel a little classier. But anyway, that is the Jacques Burdel 1813 by Yves Reynaud tarot. A nicer, more refined historical Marseille deck. And this one is number 513. There you go. Anyway, thanks for watching.